First, can somebody please remind Joe Biden, pretty please with sugar on top, that our fellow citizens are still trapped in Afghanistan? Joe has not even mentioned these Americans, not one time in over 100 days.
Americans held hostage behind enemy lines. Day 116.
Day 116, 129 days since Joe promised he would not do this, abandoning our fellow American citizens and turning his back on them and green card holders and military families. And by the way, our Afghan allies on top of it. And tonight, either Joe Biden doesn't care, doesn't remember. After all, well, he has good days and mostly bad days. And unfortunately, today was another real struggle for this declining president. Take a look.
President, I'll take Robbie to his.
Where am I?
Right here, sir.
I'm right here. Now he's a county executive in Jackson County, resident in the business as well. You know, I mean, this guy's done it all. And look, as Manuel said, we're in a situation where we've known that our infrastructure had problems for a long, long time. Under the leadership of mayors like, our mayor here. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
This is not funny anymore. That's the guy supposedly standing firm against Putin and President Xi. Putin yesterday. That's the guy who is now tasked with keeping America safe, defending our interests around the world. Joe Biden can barely complete a coherent sentence. His cognitive state seems to be now deteriorating daily. And here's a question. Does anyone in the Biden White House, anybody, do they care at all how bad this is for him personally? Do they care how bad this is for this country? Do they care how dangerous it is for this country and for the entire world? How long is everyone in the White House going to pretend that he's not a cognitive mess, which we all know he is? And get this, today, the pathetic week, Joe Biden accidentally actually revealed his strategy to deal with the hostile actor, Vladimir Putin, and his hostile regime and his hostile activity. And the way is to accommodate them, pretty much kiss their ass in any way possible.
We hope by Friday we're going to be able to say and announce to you that we're having meetings at a higher level, not just with us, but with at least 4 of our major NATO allies and Russia, to discuss the future of Russia's concerns relative to NATO writ large and whether or not we can work out any accommodations as it relates to bringing down the temperature along the Eastern Front.
Joe, you're the president. You're not a concierge at a 5-star hotel. You don't need to accommodate Vladimir Putin. And I need to say this. If you're an American in Ukraine and somehow you hear my voice, get out now. If you have loved ones there, my advice is get them the hell out of there as quickly as possible. Now, given what happened in Afghanistan, I have no faith, and neither should anyone else, that Joe will prevent chaos and carnage in Eastern Europe. Our enemies, our allies, all know that Joe Biden is in a severe cognitive decline and is in way over his head. The American people also now know and realize that Joe Biden is not fit for this job. According to a poll published in the Boston Herald yesterday, only 22% of Americans now support any Biden re-election. And get this, Kamala Harris, she's polling even lower at 12%. A Rasmussen poll shows that half of all likely voters have a very unfavorable opinion of Kamala. Meanwhile, a Wall Street Journal poll reveals a massive 30-point swing among Hispanic American voters who are now evenly split in a head-to-head rematch between Trump and Biden. The same poll shows a majority of voters are pessimistic about Biden's leadership, the economy, a variety of other issues. In other words, Biden is one of the worst-performing presidents of all time, and it's getting worse. Where do we get Friday's numbers? Where do we get that CBO scoring that doesn't include the sunset provisions that Democrats want? In other words, the fake accounting. Where do we get Friday's inflation numbers? I would imagine we stay at a 31-year high. Don't worry. The administration knows just how to right the ship. They decided what we really need is a rebranding campaign and to beg the media to sell our Build Back Better nonsense for us. And by the way, now big signs with the slogan, Building a Better America. That will follow Joe Biden all over the country as he touts his many great achievements. I can't name one, but whatever they are. The Biden administration laughably believing their poll numbers are so low because, what, the messaging is bad? What, they need a Madison Avenue campaign to somehow, if they just messengered it better, they do better? These numbers are so low because their policies are that bad. It's that simple. Their execution is even worse. Their agenda is even more destructive. Their great Green New Deal socialist Marxist ideas are insane, and their leader, Joe, is cognitively declining by the day. And the results are palpable. In 2020, we warned everyone that Joe Biden was not competent in any way. I honestly wish we were wrong. Sadly, it might be even worse than we thought. And his radical staff is now hell-bent on ramming his socialist agenda, if he even knows what it is, the Bernie Biden manifesto through Congress. Here's an idea. Let's talk to the Republican leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell. He said for months, 2 months, that Republicans would not help the Democrats raise the debt ceiling, and he did just that, and now he's doing it again. Mitch McConnell needs to stop bailing the Democrats out. Mitch McConnell is breaking his word. Mitch McConnell is lying to every Republican, and he's scheming with Pelosi and Schumer behind the scenes, and he is giving them a lifeline when they totally, completely have kept Republicans out of the budgetary process. He gifted them with more time to raise the debt ceiling after 2 months of saying he wouldn't, giving them a window to pass Build Back Better socialism. He promised he'd never do it again. And guess what? Mitch McConnell, well, now ready to capitulate one more time. He just needs 9 other senators to help him. Lindsey Graham tonight was furious. Take a look.
To the leadership of both sides, I like you. Senator McConnell has been a great Republican leader, minority leader, majority leader. But this is a moment where I want to be on the record to say I don't like this. What we've done is allow the House of Representatives to change a Senate rule. No matter what the subject matter, that's not a good idea. We've set in place a process that allows our Democratic colleagues to raise the debt ceiling without using reconciliation, the budget process.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.